In today's video, we're gonna make some chocolate chip cookies in our camp oven. I'm gonna use pre-made Nestle Toll House dough. This summer, I'm trying a lot of different food in my camp oven. And so some of these would be easy to take, some of them won't, but this is one that'd be pretty easy just to grab a roll of chocolate chip dough. So we're gonna test it out today. So the first thing I need to do is I need to open this, and I'm going to grab my cutting board and my knife from my GSI camping set, which I do really like. It has this nice knife. So we're gonna try it two ways today. The first is we're gonna put some of the cookies into this frying pan because I don't have a cooking sheet that will fit in my oven. And the second is I have a 6x6 square that we're going to basically just make a cookie cake and cook it in there. So let's start by opening our dough and see how many cookies we can put into our pan. So I was able to cut 4 cookies out of this roll of dough and I put it into my pan. And now I'm gonna open up this oven and we'll show you how we'll get started. So last year I purchased this camp oven from Modern Innovations, and one thing I really like about it is how it just folds together to be pretty compact when we're gonna take it on our trips. So it kind of just goes accordion style, and you're gonna fold it and you put the bottom down and you pull the top up and you lock it in and you are all set. As you can see on the inside of my oven, I just have a little grate right here, and we're going to turn on the burner on my camp stove. And I like this one because it has an automatic light. Just a propane stove. One of the nice things about this oven I've learned over time is that it's very forgiving. So the instructions on here say to cook it at 350 for about 12 to 13 minutes. My guess is it's not gonna take that long. So what we're gonna do is we're going to let this warm up for a little bit. Let me put the door on and heat up this oven. All right, we have our cookies in there cooking. We're at 150 degrees. I find that it's actually almost 100 or 50 degrees warmer inside than what the thermometer says. So I'm not too worried, but it's slowly heating up. While the cookie pieces are cooking, I'm going to put the rest of the dough into this 8x8 pan, and we're just gonna do a cookie cake because if I did it by 4 pieces, it would take forever. So I've got my cookie dough in here, and we're just going to push it, smash it all the way into here and make basically a cookie cake. I think this will work pretty well, and I'll just have one big cookie. Easier to cook than to cook it all in 4 little pieces. So save some time and see how well this oven will cook cookie dough. So I am pretty excited. Like I said, I've tried frozen pies already. I've done some homemade bread. So we've tried a few different things, so you can check those out. We've mostly been successful. So I'm just spending the summer trying different types of food that I can cook in my camp oven. So we are at 250 right now. We're at about 2 minutes of cooking already. So I'll come back in about 10 minutes and let you know how the cookies are doing. I have turned my oven down because I'm hitting 400 degrees already, and it looks like I'm just gonna burn them on the inside if I keep going. All right, we're at about 8 or 9 minutes, so I'm gonna open it up. This handle gets really hot on the stove, so you have to be real careful, but I found a paper towel works. And they're definitely done. I've burned the bottom of them, it looks like, a little bit. We'll take off the door, and let's get this out of here. So I've got my handle right here. We'll take it out. We'll let those cool. So it looks like I definitely cooked them, maybe burned them a little bit. They don't look too bad. They're not stuck. It looks like just these little corners right here are burnt. If you like them on the crunchy side, it looks like they'll be okay. So now we're gonna put in our cookie cake. And I'm not gonna turn the oven on too high now because I think it'll cook pretty nice in there. So let's put those in and we'll check out the rest of these cookies. All right, as those are cooking, let's take out these cookies. They're a little bit soft maybe on the inside, but they're definitely cooked. Oh, yep, that one's burned on the bottom. So we had to make sure we don't turn it too high. So I'm gonna turn that up a little bit just to make the temperature go up. We're at about 250. But like I said, I don't want it to go too high. And we have our cookies. I guess that's not burned too bad in the middle. You can taste it a little bit. So on this one, I'm gonna go a little bit slower because I only cooked these, it might have even only been about 7 minutes for the length that I cooked these cookies. So we're gonna try to make these go about 10 minutes, but I'm keeping the temperature a little bit lower to get more of an even cook. So we'll come back when these look like they're almost ready. The one thing I like about the Modern Innovations oven is that it has this window. There's also the Coleman oven, which I'm sure works great. I don't have it. I bought this one because it's a little bit cheaper last summer. and I've used it quite a bit. We've made a lot of different things. And like I said, this summer I'm gonna be trying different types of foods. A lot of it's in my backyard just because it's easy, but I like that it has the glass window. The thermostat is hit and miss. I think it reads it a little bit cooler than how hot it actually is, but it is very forgiving and it does heat up very fast. So I haven't burned too many things because usually if you pay attention, you can just get it out pretty quick. Well, let's let this cook for about 5 more minutes and then we'll come check on it. So we're at about 5 minutes and we're at about 300 degrees. So my guess is it's really about 350. And as you can see, there's a little bit of browning around the edge. And this is why I really like having a window, because everything bakes so fast. I can see it and make sure I'm not burning it like I did with the other cookies. So we'll be back and we'll hopefully get ready to take them out soon. Honestly, the more I'm eating these cookies, the better they're getting. So the bottoms aren't burned too bad. Just this one really was burned. So one side of it might be warmer than the other. This one's not too bad. Well, they're actually really good. I did decide to open it up and rotate it real quick. It has a hot side right where the flame is. So if we rotate it, maybe we'll get a little bit better cooking. This looks amazing. Let's turn this off and let's open up our oven. This could be so much fun on a camping trip, I think, because oh, look at that. I'm gonna take my door off because it will slide off. Look at that, that is perfect. This would be so much fun on a camping trip because you could just have a nice cookie cake. And this dough would be easy to keep in a cooler. It doesn't have to be frozen like the pies last week. All right, so I'm gonna stick a thermometer in real quick and we're at 200 degrees. So we're warm enough. It's definitely soft on the inside, so I'm gonna have to let this just sit for a little bit and cool off. But hopefully it'll keep cooking in the middle and then I can cut it open. But I might not even be willing to wait that long because check that out. That is awesome. We'll get a thumbnail right there. Look at that, perfect. I can't wait for these to cool off, but I'll see you in a little bit. All right, we've got our cookie cake. So we're going to test it out. It's been sitting for about 20 minutes. So we're gonna see how well this works. We're going to cut it open. Got our little spatula here. So we're going to cut out a section right here. See how this tastes. Make sure it's cooked all the way through. I think it is. I did let it cool off for a while because it was pretty soft. Oh yeah, it's finished cooking right through there. It's like perfectly soft right there. So let's cut one more piece and let's test it out and see how it tastes. So this is our cookie cake that we made in the camp oven. Let's try it out. All right, do you think this is something we could make on a camping trip? It was really easy. It only took about 15 minutes and the dough would be easy to bring along because you could just put it in a cooler and you wouldn't have to keep it frozen. So I'm really impressed with how well this came out. I think putting it in a little 8x8 square pan is a lot better than doing it with the 4 individual cookies, unless you have a cookie sheet, but I don't know of a cooking sheet that fits into that oven. So we'll put this down as another successful baking food in our camp oven, and we'll see you next time. All right, what do you think of the cookie?
It was actually really good.
Yeah?
I'm surprised that it was that good because the metal wire that does the time would probably be stretched out by now, so it's not the perfect.
Yeah, it's not as perfectly accurate.
That's why I was super surprised about it.
Yeah, so you gotta watch it through the window and then you can make sure that it's cooked all the way. And we saw it get nice and brown on the top, and then the middle was soft when I took it out, but it's finished cooking over time. And we hit 200 degrees, so we're definitely cooked enough, but it's really, really good.